Hello everybody, Mark aka The Nerdy Punk back again today for a new video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I am making a rare weeknight trip to the movie theater. I typically don't do this as I usually wait for the weekends to see movies, but at my local theater they're showing several movies that I haven't had a chance to see yet, that I've been wanting to see, and so today we're gonna get one of them and then tomorrow night we're probably gonna hit the other. So tonight I am watching Don't Worry Darling, which is the film from Olivia Wilde and stars Harry Styles and Florence Pugh. And this movie, I'm sure if you're following the movie world, you've heard of this movie because there's tons of controversy regarding it, some kind of feuds between the cast and the director, and some relationships that formed between like Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde in particular, and with these big name stars, there's all kinds of like gossip about this movie, and there's been so much noise around it. But even if you like go back to my first video of the year, which was my top 10 most anticipated movies, at that point I had already listed Don't Worry Darling as one of my top most anticipated movies. So it's a movie that I've been wanting to see, and I haven't heard amazing things about it. I've heard it's kind of a mixed bag, but I'm interested to see what I think about it and if I enjoy the film. I certainly am intrigued by the premise. I always like a good psychological thriller. I'm going to kind of throw this one into the spooky season category here, even though it's not like a straight up horror movie. It has some thriller elements to it, so we're going to add it in to this series of videos. So I'm going to head into the theater. I'm going to check out Don't Worry Darling, and I will be back in just a couple seconds for you guys, and I will give you guys my thoughts on the movie. Alright guys, so I just got out of seeing Don't Worry Darling in the theaters, and I have some thoughts about this one, definitely. There are elements of this that I really loved, and elements that I felt were not so great. The overall twist of the movie, I thought was really good and really well done. My main complaint with the movie is that it is too long. It did feel like there was a substantial chunk of the movie that was just stagnant, like it wasn't progressing, and it just was very slow at the beginning and in that first half. And really kind of after they've set up the world and they begin to reveal some stuff, I felt like that went in a very slow pace, and I was kind of disappointed with that. I did enjoy the themes that Olivia Wilde explored with this movie of, gender roles and kind of these... First of all, the way that women were treated in times like the 50s, but also how, that kind of carries over and is really kind of a core theme throughout the entire movie. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Florence Pugh's performance. I also really liked Chris Pine. I thought he did a really good job with what he was given, although he's not in the movie nearly as much as I anticipated him being. But I thought what he was in was good. Harry Styles was fine. Like, I don't think he was amazing, but I don't think he was bad either. Like, I know some people were really kind of hating on his performance. I thought it was okay. It was, substantial enough. He's not expected to do as much in most of the film. Towards the end, he is kind of playing a heavier role without getting into spoilers, but, and he's asked to do more. And I think he delivers to a decent extent. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. My main complaint with the movie is the fact that it's kind of drags out over time, and it feels like it's going nowhere. There's also, kind of the trope of, in horror movies, and this isn't a straight up horror movie, it's more of a thriller, but in horror movies, characters make the dumbest decisions, and there are some really dumb decisions made in this movie that had me kind of very frustrated with some of these characters. So I do have complaints about that as well, but, overall, I think I came out of this with a positive opinion. It's certainly not a movie that I think is going to be the most rewatchable, considering, all the flaws that I have with it and the fact of just the type of movie it is. One with a big twist is not quite as rewatchable, in my opinion, as, other types of films. But I am going to give Don't Worry Darling a 3.5 out of 5. Not without its flaws, but I don't necessarily think it deserves quite as much hate as it's gotten from the film community and critics and that kind of stuff. So I had a good time with it still, even though it certainly wasn't perfect. I also really loved just the 50s vibe and The soundtrack that Olivia Wilde used, I thought was really good as well. Lots of great music in this movie, definitely. So if you've seen Don't Worry Darling, go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. And spoiler-free, of course. I want to keep this spoiler-free for everybody who hasn't seen the movie, because it's one of those movies you don't want to know anything about when you go into it. With all that said, happy spooky season. It continues. There will be another film review up this week in the spooky season series. And I hope you all have an amazing night. See you later.